This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I'm Gamachisa Mandida with the latest. First, our top stories for today. Africa urged to build food corridors. Tanzania and Zimbabwe deepen ties. Google reveals £5 billion AI investment in the UK. Now the news in detail. Africa urged to build food corridors. The United Nations has called upon the African continent to establish integrated food corridors to connect different African production areas to main national and regional markets in an effort to reduce post-harvest losses and improve food systems across the continent. In a statement at the annual summit of the African Food Systems Forum, UN Secretary-General Mr. Antonio Guterres, who was represented by Under-Secretary-General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of ECA, Mr. Clever Gatiti, said climate shocks, biodiversity loss, high capital costs and over-indebtedness are converging to slow agricultural transformation. He said for many countries these pressures translate into higher borrowing costs, reduced fiscal space and underinvestment in agriculture, infrastructure and human capital. Tanzania and Zimbabwe deepen ties. Tanzania and Zimbabwe have begun to explore business opportunities and strategies targeting to enhance economic cooperation in the areas of trade, investment and private sector collaboration. Tanzanian envoy to Zimbabwe, Susan Kaganda, who recently met with Christopher Mugaga, the Chief Executive Officer of the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, held lengthy discussions focused on exploring opportunities and strategies to enhance economic cooperation between the two nations, particularly in the areas of trade, investment and private sector collaboration. During the talks, Ambassador Kaganda praised Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce for its significant contribution to the promotion of business in Zimbabwe. Angola and Nigeria agreed to combat illicit drug. The Nigerian government and the Republic of Angola have signed agreements consisting of cooperation on combating illicit production, manufacture and trafficking in narcotic drugs, psychological substances and their precursors, as well as on cultural cooperation and exchange. This was disclosed in a statement on Sunday by the Special Assistant on Communication and New Media, Office of the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Magnus Eze. According to the statement, the two countries signed the agreements during the just concluded fifth session of the Nigeria-Angola Bilateral Economic Joint Commission in Luanda, Angola. Liberian teacher wins AU Best Teacher Award. A Liberian teacher currently teaching physics at the Tapek Memorial High School in Mimba County has won the African Union Continental Best Teacher Award for 2025. Alan A. Thomas, who earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in education from the ABC University in Nimba County, was nominated with a female colleague for the competition, as this is the first time Liberia is participating since the intellectual competition was established in 2019. Mr. Thomas emerged as the winner among the 10 of Africa's best teachers, with 2 coming from each region, as every African nation was represented from the preliminary stage of the competition with 2 teachers. In other news, new Nepal interim minister sworn in. Nepal's new interim prime minister unveiled her first ministers on Monday as the Himalayan nation seeks to restore order after deadly youth-led anti-corruption protests that ousted the previous government. President Ramchandra Paudel gave the oath of office to 3 key ministers in a ceremony broadcast on television. Protests sparked by a ban on social media and feeding into long-standing economic woes began on September 8 and quickly escalated, with Parliament and key government buildings set ablaze. It was the worst unrest since the end of a decade-long civil war and the abolition of the monarchy in 2008. U.S. destroyed alleged Venezuelan drug boat. President Donald Trump says the U.S. military has destroyed an alleged Venezuelan drug vessel traveling in international waters on the way to the U.S. Trump said on Monday that 3 men were killed in the track on, quote, violent drug trafficking cartels. He provided no evidence that the boat was carrying drugs. Tensions between the 2 countries escalated after the U.S. deployed warships to southern Caribbean on what officials said were counter-narcotics operations, carrying out a strike which killed 11 people.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. All the time, Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. Nigeria inflation eases. Nigeria's headline inflation showed for the 5th consecutive month in August 2025, providing some relief for consumers grappling with high living costs. Data released by the National Bureau of Statistics on Monday showed that inflation dropped to 20.12%, down from 21.8% in July. The figure represents a 1.76 percentage point decline on a month-on-month basis and a sharp fall from the 32.15% recorded in August 2024. The Consumer Price Index, which tracks the average change in prices of goods and services, inched up to 126.8 points in August from 125.9 points in July. Month-on-month inflation stood at 0.74%, lower than 1.9% in July, pointing to slower price increases across the country. Finally, Google reveals £5 billion AI investment in the UK. The world's 4th biggest company, Google owner Alphabet, has announced a $6.8 billion investment in UK artificial intelligence. The money will be used for infrastructure and scientific research over the next 2 years, the first of several massive U.S. investments being unveiled ahead of U.S. President Donald Trump's state visit. Google's president and chief investment officer, Ruth Porat, told BBC News in an exclusive interview there were, quote, profound opportunities in the UK for its, quote, pioneering work in advanced science. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today, and thanks for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.